What's up, everybody?
Hello.
I am Eddie D.
I am Nicole.
And you are watching another episode of the Affinity Theory podcast. Again, so grateful for everyone who has supported the book, who has read the book, who is reading the book, who is buying the book, the whole 9 yards. We're just grateful to everyone who has been in such support of the book and the saga. So if you have not gotten a copy of your book yet, go get you a copy of the book.
Yes.
You can find us everywhere. You can find us on TikTok, Amazon, Shopify. You can find us on Linktree. Find us on Barnes and Noble, Books A Million, the whole 9 yards. Wherever you go get your books. Okay, that's
I get to stand up later.
Right. Wherever you get your books, go get you a copy of the book. This podcast is dedicated to a chapter by chapter synopsis of the book. So if you have not read chapter 1, which is where we're at today, go read chapter 1. Go ahead and pause this podcast right now. Go read chapter 1, then come back and holler at us because we are about to put some spoilers all up in this chapter.
Pretty much.
All up in this episode. And so if you have not read it yet, go read the book right now or read that chapter right now. But again, this is a chapter by chapter analysis of the Affinity Theory, and we're grateful. The prologue chapter was amazing. It was so much deeper than I had even thought it was until you started talking about it and stuff. So grateful to see everything just kind of come to life the way that it has. So if the prologue was as deep as it was, chapter 1 is about to just be explosive.
Let's get ready. We're going to treat these chapters, and I'm going to go ahead and just say it because that's what my mindset is. We're going to treat these chapters like the episodes because that's what I see when I'm reading this book. I picture them, and it just reminds me of an episode. And so, honestly, that's how we're going to treat these.
I mean,
so I'm going to treat these chapters like
listen, I got them titled like that. I got them titled like that for a reason. Like, I was telling somebody as we started to get into it. Like, I was telling somebody, they asked the question on Threads, like, do you title your chapters? And I said yes, because each chapter is like an episode to me. It helps me to focus on what it is that I'm trying to say in the book. In that particular chapter, but it reads like an episode to me. It reads like a show, and so each chapter is its own story. As we're going through the story, so it only makes sense for me to have a chapter and have a title, so that way it does feel like an episode. So I guess you can call this episode "Some Assembly Required."
This chapter / episode is entitled "Some Assembly Required." Little fun fact. You know what? So the one thing I like about the podcast I listen to is that they give like little in the beginning before they start their episode or whatever, they give like little tidbits, little fun facts. One little fun fact I want to give about Eddie is as he was growing up, he was a Power Rangers junkie. And so you get to see some of that in this chapter with the battle scene that we're going to talk about a little bit later. So that's a little fun tidbit for you. So I'll probably like sprinkle those in each little episode that we do. Little fun tidbits about Eddie that kind of relate to the chapter itself. Some will be fun. Some will probably be deep. Some will probably be, just...
We'll take it.
It'll just be different.
We'll take it.
And I think that'll be a good thing because not only will you get to know more about the book, but I feel like you'll get to know more about the author.
Yes.
As we go
I love that.
into these little quote unquote episodes.
I love that. So in tidbits, a lot of what you see in chapter 1 is a lot of what you see in most of your action movies and a lot of your TV shows during like the first episode where you get to really see the introduction of the principal and the sub characters of the story and get to see kind of the first taste of action. I wanted this book to be fast paced. I didn't want it to be a lot of drawn out things happening in the book, even though it still kind of has a lot of that in there. But I wanted it to be fast paced and I wanted it to start off with a bang. And so this first sequence really gives us an opportunity to see a lot of things happening at the same time. And so, and it reads much like most of your TV shows. If they decide to go this route where they start you off with a bang, this particular sequence it reminds me a lot of how the first Avengers movie started when Loki shows up and it's just laying to waste the Shield compound to go get the Tesseract.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he comes in, he's like, "What's up?" They're like, "Put it down, F you," and it's battle, it's action.
Yeah.
Let's go, let's get it in. And
Yeah.
so this book starts off the way the Avengers movie started.
Yeah,
like we're going in with a bang.
Yeah.
Maybe more Winter Soldier in so much that I got a prologue, but still, you know, it's still there's we start off hard,
Yeah.
rather than kind of starting off real soft, and
it catches you right off bat.
Right, exactly,
So, yeah.
exactly.
Another little tidbit about this book itself is that it's very detailed. It's very detailed.
Mm-hmm.
And I do like that about it, because to me, that's what makes me able to visualize it more, and what makes me visualize it as a show.
Yes. Fun fact to that,
because you're talking about that right now, and I was like, you just went into what I want to say.
Right. And so the tidbit about that, and I'll read y'all a little example of that.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. It says, when Alexia says, "Ready to get this super fun assignment over with," Alexia answered sarcastically as she heaved her arms, her green nanotech glittering in the light.
Yes.
One of the alpha reads said, "I can't see your book."
Yeah.
A lot of what I was writing in the beginning was a lot of dialogue, a lot of action, but you couldn't see it. You can't see what they're wearing. You can't see how they're thinking. You can't see what their hair color, all those sorts of things. And so I had to go back. This is part of the editing phase, which is so much fun. Go back in the editing phase and help people visualize, what are you seeing? Yeah. What do I want you to see in this scene? And so we'll get more in detail about the characters themselves when we get to chapter 2, because there was a rewrite that happened there. But that's one of the things that one of my alpha reads stated, that I can't see your book. I need more detail, because I need to see what you see. Yeah. I can't assume what's in your head. I can see it clear as day because it's my story. But if I'm telling it to somebody else, they need to see it. Yeah. And so that was one of the notes that I got, and I went back in through the whole book and made that happen. And so what you're talking about, a lot of detail, that's where that came from. Is one of my alpha readers said, "I can't see your book. And if you're trying to tell me your story, I need to be able to put myself where you're at. So show me what you're seeing. Yeah. Tell me what you're seeing, so that way I can say, I see it." Yeah.
I love it. I love it. One thing I forgot to mention in the last podcast, in the prologue, is the fact that not only do we get to know, Malcolm, and, get to know a little bit about him, but you also see what his, how do you say it, his hero name, his code name is at the very end of the prologue, which is KC. And so we'll see later that KC stands for something. So I just wanted to mention that, because it was in my notes to mention, but we just went down another rabbit hole and I forgot about it. But yeah, you see his code name, which is KC, and going into, the first chapter
episode.
I'm gonna get it, y'all.
Episode.
Because I'm so used to saying that.
You know what? That's what I should have called the chapters. Episode 1. I might do that from now on through the rest of the saga, and go back and upgrade this book at some point to episode 1.
I love it.
Episode 2.
I'm for it, because I can't stop saying
I love it.
But I love in chapter 1, we're just gonna start from the beginning. Like, you already start to meet the characters. And I almost feel like, I'm not gonna lie, I almost feel like, no, I was going to say, I almost feel like you start to meet them, and I'm not going to say as their importance, but meet them as far as their, I was going to say meet them as far as their, like, maturity level, but that's not true, because I see Duncan right there. Right. But you start to meet the team already. Yeah. And then you start to kind of see, like, as the chapter goes along, like, their code names as well. And so as you get to meet them, I love the little banter that, kind of starts off this chapter a bit. You get to see a little bit of their characters. And so in like like in the very beginning, because I mean, like we say, the chapters are long. So like in the very beginning of this chapter, I kind of get the feel that, I almost feel like Duncan is the youngest. Or maybe he's not the youngest, but maybe he's just like the least one mature. Who's the the least mature, or even the newest on the team or something. Because like he has to grow. Because you can kind of see how he's just he is part of the team, but how he kind of does his own thing a little bit too. You kind of see that in Duncan, like even in the beginning, and you kind of see how they kind of just like pick on Duncan a bit. And so
it's like he's like the little brother. He's like the little brother that everybody picking on. So
you kind of, and I love that even in even with you not saying, okay, this person is this person does this person has this character, you kind of see their character in their banter. And I love that. You can see like Duncan, he almost, even though you'll see that later, but you can kind of tell in this little bit like of the that he's like the hothead of it all. He just loves action because he's like, I'm so ready to get out there and just like, we haven't done anything in a long time, so I'm just ready to kick some butt or whatever. And then not even knowing who he really is, you kind of say that in the beginning when you say such a soldier. Like, I like how you just put these little moments in here that you tell us who they are, but we don't know that. And like until we see it later and see how it fits. And it's almost like I've read this book and then I'll think about something and I try to go find where I seen that earlier. But like I said, I love the banter. You start to oh, go ahead. You can say
go ahead. Go ahead.
Talk about the banter because I was just going to get into
So so the banter itself, a lot of that came from watching the Avengers and how their dialogue was written. Joss Whedon, he is the director of the Avengers movie. He also did a ton of shows. Like I don't think he did Charmed. I think he might have done Charmed. I'm not sure if I'm not sure if he was the director of Charmed. I wish I should have gone back and done some study on this real quick. But a lot of those like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the Avengers. And there's some other movies too that he's done for like some superheroes and stuff like that. That's what he does. He builds teams. He builds stories around the team and the family and things like that. And so a lot of what you see in their banter comes from a lot of what I've seen him do. Because he did that. If he did Charmed, he did it with Charmed. He did it with Buffy the Vampire Slayer. He did it with the Avengers. He did it with and I've also seen other directors do it too with like the Fast and the Furious saga. Like how they have their moments where they're being funny and and having the banter, like with Tyrese's role, Tyrese and Ludacris, watching their interaction with each other, watching how they get along with everybody. There's the one part when some, I can't remember which one it was in, but they had something that somebody said something picking on Tyrese, and Ludacris literally spit out his drink. I don't know if that was meant to happen or what, but it was so funny, it made him spit out his drink. And that's a moment that's like you can't make that stuff up. Like that's family. That's the banter. And I wanted that to be a part of the story because again, that's normal life.
It is.
That's normal life. Like you there it is. I got it. Captain America Winter Soldier. While they're on mission, what is a Black Widow trying to do? Set Cap up on a date the entire time. What about what's her face? She's cute. We're sitting here kicking butt.
Pow, kick.
Right. You think you should go get? Let's secure the room first, then find me a date. I'm multitasking. Like that's the type of banter that I wanted to capture. Oh my gosh!
And that's what makes this an awesome book / show.
Yes,
because you see that, and and honestly, like, and you can even attest to this. Like while I'm reading the book, I'm just like laughing because and you look at me like,
what you laughing for?
And I just have to read like,
oh yeah.
And so it's like it just makes it that much more enjoyable.
Yes,
just seeing that and knowing that, okay, yeah, this is the show, this real life. Like,
right.
this can happen.
Like, these jokers are about to go into this big battle. They're trying to go get these batteries from these people trying to destroy this building, and they sit here joking and having a good time.
Exactly.
And there's an episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine when the captain is having to do patrol, having to be a beat cop, and in that second episode, he's talking about shoo, telling the bird to shoo, and so they turn off they switch the radios. And then they're talking about getting rid of the new captain while they're on their mission. Like, they're having this whole side conversation while they're on mission. That was the intent here, is to give you guys an opportunity, to give the readers an opportunity to see the characters, and to get a feel for who they are. So and part of where that came from was Malika Grant, my beta reader. She told me, you're giving us too much information. I said this in the last pod. You're giving us too much information, and so you're not allowing us to really get to know them. You're telling us who they are. Let us get to know them ourselves.
Yeah. And you do, yeah.
Right. So a lot of what's in chapter 2, which we'll get to that. What's in chapter 2, I'll spoil it real quick. There's a scene where one of the characters is reading information on the team. That information was actually in chapter 1. All that information that's in chapter 2, when the person's reading about the character, about the team, all that information was in chapter 1. We pulled all of that and put it in chapter 2, so that way, instead of it being here, you got to feel the characters. Yeah. And then in chapter 2, it's like, that's who they are. Yeah. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So as we go, move into the scenes, I start to see their names start to change.
Yeah.
And so then, I'm starting to see, okay, this is who they are. This is their code name. And I love the fact that their code names kind of give their power.
Yes.
So if you think about it, we don't know KC yet because we haven't gotten there yet as far as his whole name. But
we won't spoil it here.
Too. But then you have Enchantra, if you really think about it, enchantment, all of that, So think about what do you think that is? You got Blitz. When you're blitzing, think about what that means. You got eagle. When you're thinking about an eagle, what do you think about? When you think about the mammoth, you're thinking about somebody strong and big. When you think about ammo, thinking about the guns, think about. And so I love the fact that you their code names kind of give away their power. And so I was wondering what made you pick the powers that you gave them, because they're fire powers. And so because I'm trying to think, Power Rangers, they had none of these kind of powers.
No, they did not. No, they did not.
What brought about
so to be honest with you, I think that what I wanted to do was I wanted to give people powers that didn't make them invincible. So, okay. So it's not to say that if I had this power, that would make me invincible or anything like that. But what I didn't want to do is I didn't want somebody who shot fire. I didn't want somebody who shot ice. I didn't want somebody, who shot electricity. I didn't want those powers to be the powers, because those are basic. And you do it enough, and so I wanted to do something where, yes, everybody has these powers, but they still need a team.
Yeah.
Because again, yes, I'm super strong, but being super strong also means that, that's all I can do. So if somebody shocks me, and that's, again, cloaking notwithstanding, if somebody shocks me, that's game over. Yes, I can see through things, but what help can I be beyond that? Yeah. Yes, I can run really fast, but what if somebody traps me? What if somebody puts me, me in a what if somebody freezes me? That puts me out the game. And so with their powers, I'm not completely sure why I gave them the powers that I gave them.
They're perfect.
They're perfect. but again, what I was thinking about was they need to be a team, and no one person can be more than the other, no matter how powerful they are. We see that throughout the book, where even if I've got all this super strength or this superpower or whatever, I'm still an island, and I can't do what we're called to do without everybody else.
Yeah.
Hashtag Romans 12, 1 Corinthians 12. Like, the church is a body, and within it, members of it.
Nugget, y'all.
And so you can't do anything without the others. You can try to be a whole eye if you want to, but where's the smelling gonna be? You can try to be a nose, but where's the hearing gonna be? If your pinky hurt, the whole body hurts. We see that, right? And so we see that happen in here, where I didn't want to give one person this ultra super mega power. And so it would force this team to be a team.
Yes.
Like, everybody has a power, and so again, I don't know why specifically I picked those, and maybe I put it in a journal entry somewhere, because I know I had to go in and like do all like the character makeups and everything, but I'm not sure why I chose them. But I know my intent was, I don't want any of these people on this team to feel like they can take anything down on their own. You're gonna need the team to do whatever y'all are called to do. Yeah, I think that's what makes Ammo's character and the issue that he has throughout in this particular chapter so apropos to the question, because that's what you see in him. I got it.
Yeah. Ooh, but you're gonna see a knockdown after a while.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna spoil it, but
yeah.
Okay. I love that. And honestly, like, I really kind of want to dig into your process of it all too, because that might kind of go in my little tidbits and stuff, like,
sure.
If you see if there's something like behind why you do what you do. But I love you talking about it. But it's cool to see the beginning process of it too.
Yeah.
So I think that would be
and a lot of that's in the journal. Because again, that's where all the development took place. The plot line, for real. Stupid. But yeah, that's where it's all in the journal, man. It's all in the black book. Where all the machinations took place and everything, and what we were trying to do, what the intent was behind it. What I was trying to do. What I was trying to do. Me and my characters. What we're trying to do. And what we were trying to, in terms of trying to make this story come to life. Again, I didn't want it to be just a bunch of colossal superpowers just going ham and laying waste of things. Like, I really was thinking about the shows that I like to watch, like SWAT and like Mission Impossible and The Bourne Identity, even though Bourne was kind of a band or like a one-man wrecking crew. But those type of shows and movies and things like Law and Order SVU, like, no one person is out here doing it on their own. How many times have we seen, why are you going off by yourself?
Yeah, man. Okay, all right.
Why are you not calling for backup?
Don't go there yet.
Why? Okay. No, but if that's well, I hear that, like, why? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so
keep going. Keep going.
I love the fact that you brought back Stephanie to show once again that she is not just one who sits at a desk and just does nothing. No, she is like a leader of this team, y'all.
Yeah.
I feel like without Stephanie, like, I don't know what they'd be doing. Because she may sit at a desk in front of intelligence, but she is like giving them the lowdown. Like, she is like seriously helping them out, and we'll see that later too, with the crawler or whatever. But she is seriously kind of their eyes as well. So I love that you brought her back in the book.
Yeah.
And she's an important character. Like, I almost feel like I don't feel like she's like downplayed in this book, but she's one where I want to see her some more.
Yes.
And I wonder, is she powered?
I haven't said yes or no. I haven't said yes or no. She might be. She might not be.
Stay tuned, y'all.
Right. We talking way on.
I know.
But but the thing, but part of why it was important to have this intelligence division be as involved. Part of that inspiration came from the show Agents of Shield. You haven't seen a lot of it because at the time that I was watching it, it got real dumb, and I didn't want to introduce you to it because I was like, this is garbage. I ain't finna put you in this, put you through this torture. But when it was good, it was great because their premise was thinking about it from the Marvel perspective. Because again, they were in line with the movies for a time. The whole premise behind Agents of Shield was we're human.
Okay.
But y'all still need us. You can't do what you do without us on the ground. We are a bunch of regular old people who fight with guns and swords and knives and bayonets. We ain't got no powers, but you need us to do our job so that Iron Man and Captain America and all of them can do their job. Yeah. You can't do your part without us. So we got to see the agents be agents. And that's what intelligence is to a degree. The heroes can't do their job without somebody, without the man in the chair.
Yeah.
The man in the chair. Hashtag Spider-Man. Yeah. The man, you need a man in the chair to give you the information you need to go and do what you do. And we know this because that's what happens with law enforcement. You know, they're always relaying to people, this is where it's at, this is where it's located, this is what's here, so y'all can go do y'all job. And so again, that's where that came from. Is I didn't want them to rely on AI. I didn't want them to rely on a computer to tell them what's going on. Even though we're in the future, so to speak, I didn't want them to rely on a computer. I wanted them to rely on people. Because at the end of the day, as smart as computers are, they will never replace human. They will never replace the human, the human aspect. They'll never be able to surpass human intelligence. I hope. Because y'all, and AI doing some crazy stuff now. Got me scared. Terminator. But again, that's why Stephanie. That's why Stephanie and the intelligence division is such a critical part, and the elite can't do their job without them. None of the people at the company could do their job without them because they're the ones who are getting all the information they need to be able to do their job the best they possibly can.
I love it. I love it. But okay. So as we move on, and when they're actually about to go into
the DD.
I guess, where are they going?
The DD.
Yeah, these visors where they're it starts to talk about them about to go into the place of wherever they're going to. Yeah, the D security system. You actually kind of see KC already start to take charge, so he's the leader once again. And it just made me, think about the fact of all he's dealing with and why it's so easy for him to, when he does deal with things like the dreams or whatever, why it's so easy for him to either suppress it or to go to his go-tos to help suppress it. Because of the fact that he's not just thinking about himself. And not just thinking about himself, I kind of feel like he forgets himself. And so
that's good.
In forgetting yourself, you find ways to cope in helping that. Okay, let me try these grounding techniques so that I can just get it together so that I can take care of my team. And so you kind of see, he's chuckling and all that with it all, and he's with his team. But then when he's alone, for him to have to sit in all that, and we'll see this later when Simone is like bringing all of this out of him. But it's like it's easy for him to do that because he's done it so long, and he's easily distracted when he has all of these other responsibilities. So. Yeah, I noticed that, and that kind of stood out to me when thinking about the prologue.
Yeah. And a lot of times when you think about being in leadership positions, like that is a lot of what leaders end up having to do. They often say it's lonely at the top. And that is a it's a true testament to a degree.
Make yourself,
that's what I was saying. You took it. Nope, that's it. That's it.
Like that, because yes, because even when we get into like further chapters, like he does make himself be alone by isolating himself.
Right. And everybody's like, why are you doing that? Yeah. Nobody told you to do that. Nobody told you to isolate. Yeah. And again, part of that is, again, dealing with one of the issues that I've had personally, is, not being able to trust people and not being able to trust them with the truth without, it being used against us in the court of law. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of times you try to, or at least I'm talking about myself, I've tried in my experience of life to undermine that. Mm-hmm. No, I don't want to be lonely at the top. Mm-hmm. I want to have friendships up here. I want to forge alliances up here. I want to be able to be transparent and vulnerable up here at the top. Mm-hmm. Only to realize that, yeah, you can want that all you want to, but sometimes, it depends on who you're taking up there with you. Yeah. Like, everybody can't go up there with you. And a lot of times, when you get burned like that, which he kind of goes into a little bit, but it's not really told as much. And obviously we know why, we go further down into the books, but we don't get to see it a whole lot here. But a lot of times, when you get burned as many times as you do, you decide, I'm just going to insulate. I'm not going to let anybody in. And so, yeah, I'm just going to stuff it all down. I'm not going to bring it up. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm just going to do my job, go home, and I'll deal with my own mess. Yeah. And a lot of times that a lot of people that, again, I've talked to in therapy have said, like, I don't have anybody I can talk to. I don't have anybody I can give this stuff to. Then I'll ask them, well, have you tried? Well, no. Why not? Because when I did, it came back to bite me in some way, shape, or form. And what really happened is they went to the wrong people. They talked to the wrong person. They weren't trusting in the person they should have trusted in. They weren't trusting in somebody else who didn't have their best interests at heart and all that kind of stuff. But again, we see that a lot in leadership, where you feel like you have to be a man on an island when you don't necessarily have to. You just have to be careful who you allow to come with you on for the ride. That's true. And so again, we see that a lot going on with Malcolm / KC. That he, does have a lot on his shoulders, and he's learned to deal with it, but it has come at a cost. Mm-hmm. Yep, love it. I also like to say how corny Casey is. Facts. He's very corny. Facts. You kind of see a little bit of his name. Mm-hmm. All right, everyone. Casey declared, "Let's drop the kingdom on their asses." Mm-hmm. Just as corny as the last million times you tried that line, Casey. Who wrote her white eyes behind her purple and black velvet. Again, details, y'all. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you kind of see the little corniness. Really? Mm-hmm. Still? Casey asks. I love it. Yeah. I just love the banter and all of this that is about to go down. Yeah. Yeah. I love it. Yeah. You kind of see his name a little bit. Yeah. You see Kingdom. That's the K, y'all. Mm-hmm. And you notice I capitalized it on purpose. Yeah. I capitalized it on purpose. Yeah. So, just say it. Yeah. Hint, hint. Uh-huh. And I like that, even though you don't say it in this, like, you don't like come out and just like write it, but you can kind of tell, like, especially KC, like, they are a team that cares. Mm-hmm. And you can kind of see that in their banter. You can see that in what they're doing. They care. Mm-hmm. Even though they're given orders from the company, I kind of feel like they wouldn't be doing this if it isn't something that they cared about, like as far as their community and trying to help in, like, even though they're not going to necessarily like stop all the crime, but help in preventing a lot of those things. Mm-hmm. Helping their community, because like I said, they are not all powered. No. There are some who are not powered, and so like they are trying to do what they are trying to do to help their community. Mm-hmm. And like I said, in this chapter, we're going to get into it, you kind of start to see what their like powers are. You like see Blitz, and he tells this, like,
very, very soon. Like right now, like energizing herself and becomes a red blur. Speeding, you know, she's fast. And I want to tell you, I ain't even gonna lie. I almost feel like besides Carl, like the Eagle is probably my next best favorite character because she is a badass. Like she reminds me of Black Widow, y'all.
Yeah.
She reminds me of Black Widow because
Rosa Diaz.
She just has the sight to see like whatever. She can just change her vision, like to blur stuff, to blur stuff, or to make things sharper, or to make things 3D, or to make things 4D.
She is a human camera.
Yes, and this girl can fight.
Yeah.
She got knives and all that. I'm like, come on, and daggers, let's go.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
And I love, like I said, I love the detail in their fighting scenes, because I got on the next page, like the battle scenes are lit.
Yes.
They are very detailed battle scenes. And I love that because I am visualizing it. Like I'm like, okay, how are they doing that? How the heck? Well, first of all, I'm gonna break my back. So let me just in my head. But yeah, like she is a badass, and I think I love her character besides Carl. Yeah. Like I love it. So yes. I don't know what makes you think of Malaysia, but Malaysia is that. I don't know if Black Widow was in your head, but
but for real, Malaysia is supposed to be Rosa Diaz. Straight up through from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Okay.
Malaysia is supposed to be Rosa Diaz.
Okay.
From Brooklyn Nine-Nine, where you know there's an episode of one of the Halloween heists where she pulls out a machete, pulls out this big old buck knife. It's like, where did you get that from? Don't worry about that. You better not mess with my bike. She whips out a daggum, baton and just starts whacking at backing at the and everything. Like she knows how to use everything, and it's just it's the consummate badass, like you said. But then there's the episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine when they get Bob Anderson, when they go to Rosa's house and they're like, who are you? Yes. You got lemons in a bowl for decoration? They just need to pop a color. It's like, what? And so when we get into a later chapter of the book, and she's like, what? I like girly things. Yeah. I'm a girl. I like to look good. It's like, So again, it's like, so when I was writing Malaysia's character, I was thinking, I want her to resemble Rosa Diaz in terms of her badassery, but I also want her to be someone that communicates. And as we see later on in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Rosa becomes more of a communicator, more of a person that you can talk to and things like that. But I didn't want that to be something that she grew into. Yeah. You see it, like you said, within the banter itself, but you also see it later down the line. She talks like she's a communicator. She's in touch with her feelings and is in touch with other people's feelings, and she's very blunt. And to the point. And so that's where Malaysia's character came from, is a lot of Rosa Diaz. And so speaking of, character formations, the Ammo's role, Duncan, his role, you're absolutely right. I wanted him to be a hothead, a little brother, someone who is trying so hard to prove himself, and wanting to just get in there and just do all the things, and get out of my way. A lot of the TV shows that I had been watching, where you had the main character who was always just getting in trouble, and everybody just following their lead because they're the main character, so you have to follow their lead. That's who I patterned Duncan after. Like, he's a hothead. He wants to do it his way. But I did not let him get away with doing things his way. Unlike them doggone shows, because them shows getting on my nerves. Like, will somebody please pop that person in the head and sit them down, because you're doing too much, and why y'all following them? You know they wrong. Why are you following them? You used to get on my Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, when doggone Lorna Dern, whatever her doggone role was, where everybody's following her around. Yes, we're gonna do it, and we're gonna do it because I say so. Why? You're gonna get us killed. Why are you doing this? So that's what his role was patterned after. Carl Luther, the Mammoth. His role is literally Luther from Mission Impossible.
I love it.
That's literally who I was envisioning when I wrote his role. I said, that's the guy I want him to be. I want him to be the one who very, very calm, very, very soft spoken, has a lot to say, but is very wise and very, measured in his approach, but can still kick your ass and will take no prisoners. And so I wanted him to embody that person. Daisy Parker, Blitz. She is very much like a princess of sorts, but not a diva. She's not a diva. She's a princess. She kind of is expecting things to go her way.
Yeah.
She's very much a princess in that regard, right? And so so I didn't necessarily like get a character to pattern her after, but that's who I'm thinking of when I'm thinking of her. Very much a princess, very much entitled to what I have. If I do what I'm supposed to do, I'm supposed to get these things. Yeah. And so very much an entitled person, and thinking that this is my birthright. I'm supposed to be here. Yeah. I'm supposed to get this.
This is the way things are supposed to be done.
100%. 100%. Yeah. Actually, I take that back. I patterned Daisy after a co-worker of mine a long time ago. They used to get on my nerves because that's how she used to act. She used to act like she's supposed to be the boss. She's supposed to be the chief. She's supposed to be telling everybody what to do. And it's like, no, but you're not the boss. Why are you trying to tell us what to do? Stop it. Mm-hmm. Stop it now. No, this is not how it's supposed to go. And then Alexia, her girl, right? Like, with her, I was thinking very much about she's everybody's girlfriend. Like she's the girlfriend. Like she's the best friend. The best friend of every freaking movie show that we've seen of a main character girl, her best friend. She's the best friend. She's the if That's So Raven is That's So Raven, she's the redhead. In terms of like the best friend role. She's not ditzy like her. Okay. Yeah, she's not ditzy like her, but she's always there for you.
Because I was about to say she kind of reminds me of the girl, as far as like off of the big sister off of Black Lightning.
Okay, yeah.
Like when she is in her element, so one of her lines is Ashantra announced, I'm in a bitchy mood, so please give me a reason.
Yes.
She reminds me of her, because even when we get to the end of the book, when she's trying to spoiler, when she's trying to get in his head, like she's just so crafty.
Yeah.
And like she thinks.
Yeah.
She thinks, and she's just really crafty, and she's kind of reminding me of her character just a little bit, not as far as like her stubbornness.
No.
She's not stubborn, but she's like, try me. I dare you.
Yeah.
Like, do it if you dare. But then she has that part of her where she is everybody's friend. Like she cares. She got you. Like she is.
She's the consummate girl next door. Like I care about you. You're my friend. Yeah. You are the one that I'm fighting for. And it's as soon as a new person comes in, she's the first one saying, "Come here, you're mine. Come here, you're mine."
Yeah,
she's like, come here, you're mine. Come here. Like, what are we talking about? Like, don't worry about them. Come with me. Yeah. Come with me. Let me take you. I want to go. I'm the first one. Sign up. When they have the little moment where they're like, let's go off. I want to go. Yeah. Where are we going? Like, that's her. Like, she wants to be in. She wants to be a part. She wants to be a part of the team, a part of the crew, a part of the family. And so I patterned a lot of that for her in this particular role. Because again, that again just embodied, it's part of my psyche about I want to be everybody's friend. But again, that's who I patterned her after, is someone who is always got your back. She's always wanting to be around. She's always caring. She's wanting to be a part of the in crowd. Not but not from a people pleasing sense. It's more like, you're my family now. And so families got each other. And I got you. Whatever you need, I got you. So yeah.
And we'll talk about Simone's character later.
Right. Yeah.
But Malcolm's character, like even his character is like, you can tell, like even from the prologue, you can tell, one, he's a leader. You can tell, like, he's just one that cares about his team, but he gonna tell you like it is. Like, he's not gonna sugarcoat. He's going to read you the right act.
Yeah.
But still love you.
Yeah. And a lot of what we talked about before about him not speaking his mind, you see him speak his mind when he's angry.
Yes.
When he gets frustrated, that's when you see him like, that's where it starts to come out.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Because we're getting close to the end of chapter 1. And we start to see more of Duncan's ammo's hot-headedness. And see more of how stubborn he is, and how much I feel like how much of a kid he is, kind of maturity-wise. Because if we look at it, he's seeing, as they've done this big battle, they've got one of the bad guys in custody or whatever, and then he starts to see another bad guy get away. That's on page 15. And then, he's thinking to himself, like, no, he says it out loud. He's like, no, he's thinking to him, no, he says it out loud. No way he's getting out of here. And so he just hot-headedness. No, he's gonna do what he wants to do. But I love the fact that when Ammo does what he does, you give us his thoughts. Now, that's why I say this book is very detailed, because we not only get, the details of like the characters as they're doing things, like how they look or whatever, but you also get the thoughts that they're having. He's thinking, Casey said, apprehend them all. So that's what I'm going to do. Maybe then he'll get off my back. You see the kid in him wanting to please.
Yes, his big brother.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
And so but that's also part of his hot-headedness and his stubbornness.
Yes.
Like he doesn't think about the outcome before. He's just one, I guess, thinking.
You got the idea. What can I Let's do it.
And we're gonna see that again later as well.
Yes.
But you see that part of him. That's part of his character. And it just makes you wonder more about him. Like, why is he like this?
Yeah. That part.
Yeah. So you start to see that hot-headedness and that kid in him, and that people-pleasing in him. And that's what makes KC angry, because of the consequences of his decision. And which is the fact that he just blew up. Who is it?
Jorge.
No. They got Jorge. No, they got Mick.
Yeah, they got Mick.
What happened to Bash?
They got him too.
Oh, they got 2 of them.
They got 3. They got 3 of them. Sam, Mick, and Bash.
That's right. Jorge is the one that
is the leader.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what makes Casey angry, because Casey did tell him, he did say apprehend them all. But they did say no kill.
No kill order. No kill order. We do not have a kill order.
Exactly.
So if we get the batteries, let's go.
Yeah.
Get the batteries.
I think that he was just wanting to please and make his big brother happy.
He wanted to make his big brother happy.
Bring this person in. Maybe KC won't feel the way he feels about me.
And he'll finally get up off my back. Yeah. Exactly.
So you see KC, and like you said before, going back, you see KC speak his mind. Speak his mind about him or to him.
Yeah.
Do you see that here? Oh yeah. What was the mission, Ammo? You can hear him. Malcolm scream.
Yeah.
What was the mission?
Right.
And so you see him go into his little Big Brother,
Big Brother mode. Yeah, that's Big Brother mode. Yeah. Scolding
my little brother.
Mm-hmm.
So you're bad, you start to see, look, I'm telling you, this book is lit. This is just chapter 1.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, the book is very detailed because I keep hitting, sorry.
This is your book.
You're going to be hearing that clicking sound.
It's all good.
And you hear the disappointment in Malcolm's voice. I'm saying you hear it. You read it.
No, go ahead. Episode.
But then
that's right. Come on, Netflix.
You also see how it affects Duncan, because it even said, I don't know how much I can stress how detailed this book is, because it tells us how he sulks in his helmet, trying to come to terms with Malcolm's correct assessment. He did know better. If I kill that man, the director's going to have me. He just starts to think about those things after. Yeah. So, like, there's that scolding, and then there's that guilt. And so, but then you hear Malcolm's thoughts. I love it. Yeah. He's asking himself the question, like, why did they put me on this team? He has doubts about different things, but some things he's saying, some things he's not. But and we'll get more into that later. But yeah, man. Yeah. Chapter 1 is lit. I'm telling you, the battle scenes are you're gonna have more. I'm telling you, you're gonna have more of the battle scenes that are gonna be more detailed than this, and it's going to be amazing. Yeah. But yeah. Took over.
No, you are fine. You are good. I was gonna let you have it, and in that, I'm gonna go back to page 11, where one of the parts that I liked going back and rewriting was helping the readers understand who the elite unit are. It says fear gripped their hearts like a bear trap. They had heard the stories of the legendary elite unit, the company's most lethal defenders of Uri City. Everyone knew that the elite were the ones called when no one else could handle the situation. The force that took on the most challenging tasks at the behest of the government. These mid-level robbers assumed they would have to fight through security, but they never fathomed ever coming face to face with the elite unit, not for mere batteries.
That's the definition of the elite.
And that, in one, second, that's what goes back to what was said in the prologue. Why are we, the elite unit, going after mid-level robbers? This doesn't make sense.
Yes.
This is not a challenge that the elite unit should be handling. This seems like something that a different team, a lower level team, even cops should be handling. Why are you sending us in here to take them on? So for them to be like, why are they here? That's literally the reason why they're asking that, because they've heard the stories.
Yeah.
Like, when they send the elite, that means that the government has tried everything else. They've tried other defender companies, other contract defenders, and none of them could handle it. They assumed they couldn't handle it, so they called these guys, but they called us to come to stop us from getting some batteries? Like, why? Why did they come? Why did they call? And then, so that's why, like, what, should we just give up? I heard these people. I don't want to find these people. And so I love being able to rewrite that in there during the edit phase, because I wanted to really highlight the fact, like you said, and like it was said in the book. Why are you sending us?
Yeah,
that's Malcolm's thought. Like, why are you sending us? Like, this isn't something that we would normally handle. But like you said, I'm not gonna question it. Orders are orders. They're sending us in there for a reason. Let's just go do what we need to do. We'll figure out the why if they decide to tell us why. And so that part was really fun for me to put in there. Another part that I really enjoyed was when Blitz was doing her thing, and then once she got done doing her thing on page 9, once she finished doing is it page 9? Yeah. When she finished doing her thing down at the bottom of page 9, she didn't catch one of the guys who got up and was getting ready to do something. So then the eagle came in with her with lightning precision and stabbed Buddy with the knives. And so again, going back to what you said about her being a badass and saying and doing that part.
And I love that's what makes them a team. Like they don't have to be like, hey, if I don't get this person, can you get it? No, but if I see it, I got you.
I got you. No questions asked.
Knives, daggers, let's go. Where you think you going?
Right. Right.
I love it. They are a team, and that's why I was like, they care about each other, and we're gonna see that a little bit later. Even though Malcolm, you know, and you hear how he talks about why did they put me on this team? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? You hear all of that, but Malcolm cares about his team. Like it doesn't hide that well. Even though he tries to hide that and show, you know, a
cool, steely demeanor, but it's like, bro, but
really
stop.
Care about his team. So, yeah.
Nah, I mean that's pretty much it for me, man. Like I say, chapter 1 just really it just lays the ground. It lays the ground, and it gives you guys an opportunity to get to know the characters in a really fun way. Again, you know, going back off the notes that I got from my alpha read, I wanted you guys to be able to jump into the world and really get engrossed in what's at stake. In terms of like the powers and things, without telling you this person has this power, this person has this power, this person has this power. Because once again, you'll see in chapter 2 what we pulled from chapter 1 to make that particular scene stand out the way that it does. And we'll talk about that when we get there. But I wanted again to give everyone an opportunity to really get engrossed and lost in the story without having to be too hit with information.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to give you information, how can I give you information in a way to where you are still watching a movie, still watching the show, and not being handed a bunch of facts? And so I think we're able to execute that very well in the first chapter, and in doing so, set the stage for what we're getting ready to see in chapters 2 and 3, when he says that last line, this is why I hate rookies. They always find a way to fuck things up. Because that's exactly what's going to happen throughout this book.
And you know, that is very funny how that is the last thing that is said, and then the first thing that you say in chapter 2. We ain't gonna go there yet though.
Right. That is literally the line of the book. For me, that's one of the lines of the book, because that's literally what happens. That is literally what happens. Like, a rookie shows up and fucks everything up. That's exactly what's supposed to happen. Listen, it's everything's destined, right? And so again, that's why I'm so that to me that line is so apropos, because when you go throughout the rest of the book, you then come back to this line, you're like, that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, man, that's chapter 1. We ain't gonna say nothing else because it's gonna put us into chapter 2.
Yeah.
But that is Some Assembly Required. That's chapter 1, episode 1 of the book. And so again, thank you guys so much for listening. I hope that we were able to give you guys some insight and some love on the book in a way that helps you to better understand where a lot of the stuff that I did came from. I keep saying we wrote the book, like you and me wrote the book. I mean, you listen to it and give me so much insight and stuff, we can give you a little byline on the top of it all. But yeah, man, I'm grateful for the chapter, grateful that it allows that, again, it set the stage, it set the table. And in doing so, allowed us to have a creative way of showing who the characters are, showing what their powers are, showing, the team, the effort that they do, and showing the humanity in all of them. Like we said, really wanted to emphasize, the church is a body. The team is a body.
Yes.
We all have a role to play. We all have parts to play. And in doing so allows us to be able to function.
Yeah.
And so a lot of what we see in chapter 1 is, again, setting that table and setting that stage, especially just setting it for the rest of the book. And so I definitely hope that I did it justice. Y'all let me know. Let me know. Again, obviously, I feel like we did regardless. I like to go back and change nothing no way.
Okay. And it also shows the fact that, we all need to grow. Like, there's still room for growth. And one of the things Malcolm is going to, like, you're going to see him grow in is giving them that grace, giving them that room to grow, be who they are, still love them for it, and giving them that room to grow, because you realize you too need to grow. Yeah. So,
Yep. None of us are perfect. We're all making improvements day by day, and we got to give each other the grace to make those mistakes and to grow and to learn from them, rather than casting somebody aside just because they made a mistake. Now, if they continue making mistakes and it's a pattern, we need to try another approach. But still extending that grace, because we all make mistakes. We all have room to grow. We all have, things that we're working on day by day. And so again, man, we could talk about another 30 minutes.
I know, right?
Thank y'all so much for listening. Again, you can find me all the social media platforms under Eddie D. Writes. Eddie DEE Writes. And so you can find me there. You can find the links to where to get the books from on my Linktree page, Linktree/Eddie D. Writes. You can buy the books from Spotify. Liz, I'm doing it now. Shopify, the TikTok store, right? The TikTok shop, the Amazon. You can get all formats on the Amazon except for the audio for now. You can get it Barnes and Noble, Books A Million, wherever you buy your books. This book is there. So go get you a copy of the book in whatever format. I don't care. Go get you a copy of the book. And again, follow us along. Every episode that we do is going to be an episode of the book. I was going to call the episodes now because we naming and claiming some stuff in the name of Jesus. And so the next episode will be chapter 2, Icy. So go ahead, read the chapter, and when we come back, we'll analyze. And again, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about the book, don't hesitate to reach out to us and let us know. And when we get to right. Once we get to a certain point in the podcast, we will have gotten some of those questions to begin answering those questions once we get to that point. And so again, let us know what you're thinking, how you're feeling. And again, just one more time, thank y'all so much for your support. It means the world to me to know that my story is out there in people's hands, and that you guys are enjoying the story as much as I have enjoyed writing it. So again, thank y'all so much for all the love, all the support, and
audio.
Yes. We're working on the audio. At the recording of this podcast, we are starting the audio recordings tomorrow. And so we're getting everything set up and prepared for that. And so once we get the audio completely done, we will let y'all know. Look at the various platforms to see a video or something, letting you know that the audiobook is ready. So just be looking out for that as well. But again, that's what we're going to be working on starting this week. So again, thank you guys so much. You got anything else you want to say to the people?
No, man, love y'all. Thank y'all for supporting my husband and all of this. Like, it's amazing just to see the success. And I mean, I let him know that it doesn't matter how many books you sell. This book is already a success. It's an amazing book, and I feel like if you don't get the book, like you just missing out. You're missing out on a good book, a good story, like life. I don't know, the reality. I mean, it's all in this book. The entertainment, the reality, the help, like all of it is in this book. Those who are supporting, we do appreciate you. It means the world to have this story out, because I tell them all the time, Like, I'm not just saying it's an amazing book because I'm your wife and it just feels good that I'm not the only one who is saying that. I just let you know that it is a really, really good book.
Y'all.
So, love you.
All right. You know how we do it on this pod. You can't see the good.
Good.
We love you guys. Peace out, homies.